Hi friends, welcome to the video. Today I am going to provide introduction to the Philidor opening. Before going into the opening, let us try to understand why the name Philidor. In chess, whenever a new opening or new variation or a new endgame position or a checkmating idea, whatever is invented, it is either named with the country where it originated or the name of the players who invented the position. So this name originated from the famous French chess player by name Francois-André Danican Philidor. He was an 18th century French player, born in 1726 and died in 1795. He was not only a chess player but also a famous music composer. He is widely regarded as the best chess player of his era. He has authored a book in French which was considered as the standard chess manual for at least a century. Apart from this chess opening, an endgame position and also a checkmating method are also named after him. So, Philidor has a major contribution towards the development of the modern chess game. Now, with this short introduction to Philidor, let us start with the Philidor opening. Now, the Philidor opening starts with e4, e5, and f3. Now, here the most popular move is nc6, which would lead to the Ruy Lopez opening bishop b5 or bishop c4 the Italian opening or d4 Scotch opening or nc3 which would lead to 4 knights defense. Now here Philidor suggested an alternative move to nc6, that is d6. Now this d6 move characterizes the Philidor opening. Now what are the advantages of the Philidor opening? First of all, as a black, we would not get into the theoretical positions of Ruy Lopez, Italian, Scotch, or four knights. And also, the square c6 is empty, which could be later used for pushing the c7 pawn. What are the disadvantages? The disadvantages are, even though the black has a solid position, but it does not have good control on the center. And secondly, the black bishop on f8 is hindered in development. Now, against the Philidor opening, what would be the best reply from white? Following the chess principles, where center control is considered as one of the factors, the best move for white would be d4. So here, black could make several moves and accordingly the variations. The most common move would be ex d4, which we call it as exchange variation, nf6, the Nimzowitsch variation, nd7, the Hanam variation, or f5, the Philidor counter gambit. Apart from these four major variations, there are also some minor variations like nc6, bg4, which was considered the best reply in the 19th century, but with the development of the opening, now it is considered as an inferior move. And also the move f6. So, to summarize, the Philidor opening is characterized by the moves e4, e5, nf3, c6. The best reply for white would be d4, and the four major variations that we need to be familiar with are ex-d4, the exchange variation, nf6, the Nimzowitsch variation, nd7, the Hanam variation, and f5, the Philidor counter gambit. Now that we have learned the introduction to Philidor defense, we will learn one of the most fascinating chess games that was ever played in the history of chess, and the game is known as Opera game. In the Opera game, the opening that was used was Philidor opening. So whenever you talk about Philidor opening, you need to remember the Opera game. Now, why the name Opera? That's because this game was played in the Opera house when the Opera show was being held. This game was played in Paris in the year 1858. So we are talking about almost 175 years. So the game was played between Paul Morphy, the American great chess player, and couple of amateur chess players, Duke of Brunswick and Count Isoard. In this game, both the players would discuss together and come up with a common move. The game goes like this: e4, e5, nf3, c6. The Philidor opening, d4, the best reply by white, bg4. As informed earlier, this move bg4 was considered as the best move during that time. The logic behind this is, if white captures dx e5, black cannot capture the e5 pawn with dx e5 because white would exchange the queens and black would lose the castling rights. So this bg4 move prevents the exchange of queens. dx e5, bx f3, queen f3, dx e5. The white developed the bishop bc4, targeting the scholar's mate on f7 pawn. Black prevented by nf6. White moved qb3, again targeting the f7 pawn. Black prevented the capturing of f7 pawn with q e7. Now in this position, we can see that the pawn on b7 is not protected. White cannot take the pawn on b7 because it would lead to forced exchange of queens. So Paul Morphy did not want to exchange the queens, so he continued with development of pieces in c6. Black moved c6. White continued with the good practices of opening principles, that is developing the pieces with bishop g5. Here, black should have continued with the development of pieces, but he went ahead with premature attack b5. Now here, white pieces being developed and being in good position, white sacrificed the knight for good position. Knight x b5, cx b5, bishop x b5, check. Now here, the only sensible move is knight d7. White castled and completed the development and brought the rooks into play. Now if you analyze this position, what we can see is white has completed the development, whereas the black pieces, both the rooks and the bishop on f8 are not developed, and the two knights being developed but still are immobile because of the pins. So in this position, the best move is r d8. White went ahead with exchange sacrifice, took x d7, took x d7, and brought the only other piece which was not developed into play. So here, black saw that his position was not so good, so he planned to simplify the game by exchanging the queens. However, white had other ideas. Bishop x d7, which is the first move, and next d7. Now can you pause the video and find a two more checkmate? Yes, the move is the beautiful sacrifice of queen. Queen b8, knight x b8, rook d8. Checkmate. Now this combination of bishop and rook giving the checkmate in the center of the board was seen for the first time in this game, and the checkmating position is named as opera mate. So friends, as a professional chess player, this is one of the many games which everybody should have in memory. So please go through this game, understand each move, practice on the board, and try to memorize the game. And try to inculcate the good things that we learned from this game, that is, the importance of piece activation or development of the pieces in the opening in your games. So friends, that's it for this video. As always, kindly request to subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, Thank you for watching the video. Bye for now and happy learning.